Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives. Welcome to episode 35 of 6 with 6 Strings. Well, time to have some fun. So what I did today is, or what we're going to talk about, is I grabbed 6 bands from my collection that I don't own a lot from. In fact, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it metal bands that I don't own enough from, or do I? And you can let me know, do I? Or is there something out there that I still need to get out of these 6 bands discography, which the grand total of these 6 bands, they put out 96 studio albums. That is, yeah, that's a shitload for sure. There's one band in there that kind of skews that number, and you'll know it when I say or get to it anyways. But personally, I own 20 out of 96 of these bands discography, so roughly 21%. So there's still things that I think I still need to check into, things I know a little bit about, and there's some in here that I know about that definitely I should have picked up already. But so each one, let me know in the comments again, should I be looking into more from these bands, or do I own all I need? There's definitely some key albums in here for a couple of bands, but yeah, just like I said, I didn't say, doing a little fishing, and I thought I don't want to go fishing alone. I'd rather go fishing with you guys. And this applies to, I'm sure you have bands in your collection that would apply to like a category like this. And I might do a follow-up video of bands that I do have a full collection that maybe you would be interested in knowing, hey, you need to go past their first or second album. They're much more than that. And I'm going to put a little list together for that too. But let's get rolling on what I do have. And I'm going to start off with 2 probably just huge thrash classics. But as far as this band goes, I only own these 2 albums. One I will mention that I got rid of. I don't know why. Should I get it back? You'll let me know. The band I'm talking about is legendary thrashers Sepultura. So I own only 2 out of their whatever discography. I don't know what they even have for albums. Definitely not even looking to complete their discography, but I know there's key albums out there that I still probably should own or at least listen to. But of course, Beneath the Remains, must have for the collection. This is not going anywhere. This came out, 89? And I also have Arise from 91. Love both of these albums. I would probably say Beneath the Remains might be it would be my favorite, but Arise is just equally as good. Sepultura, if you know Thrash. And I also did own a copy of Chaos AD. I don't even know what I did with it. That's one that I remember hearing, Refuse, Resist, if that's the song, and Territories, I'm not quite sure. I remember seeing those on Much Music and hearing those songs. And then I did have that album and I let it go. I don't know. Should I get that one back? But past that, I know that Roots was next after that, and then Max left the band. And then I think his brother Igor stayed in the band for another probably 3 or 4 albums. And then you get but prior to that, after Max left, Derek Green came in. I don't even know if I've actually heard one of the albums with Derek Green. So let me know a little bit more of Sepultura. Also, even what came before this, because I don't know those albums. I don't know if they're, kind of must-haves in my collection. But so there's the first one we're going to talk about today. Second one, let's go with... Now this one, I have the 4 albums that they ever put out, but then you'll put 2 and 2 together. Warlock, I picked up, back in the day, I had 2 Warlock cassettes, and that was for Triumph and Agony, and I had True as Steel on cassette. But about a year ago, I picked up this set of Warlock. It's a little clamshell box set. I Rule the Ruins, and it came with the only 4 Warlock albums, studio-wise anyways. It came with Burning, The Witches. These are all classic metal albums, and you know who the lead singer is too. So what I'm after today is, I don't know much past Doro's first solo album, Force Majeure. I do not own it. I probably should own that one, but past that, I don't know a lot about what Doro's output was for studio albums, or if there's a few classics in there I should know about. And of course, Hellbound came second. I think these are all consecutive years too. Man, the good old days when you banging out an album every year. So this would probably be 85, 86. I might be off by a year. 87, True as Steel. This is awesome. Awesome album. And I first got into Warlock from the song All We Are off of Triumph and Agony. Absolutely love that song. Love this. This is one of those just classic covers. Really should own this one on vinyl. But so Warlock is the band, and I do technically own all of their studio albums, but I think the only reason Doro didn't go by the name Warlock was probably or change her name to just Doro, was, I think, legal reasons. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, let me know, what am I missing out of the Doro catalog that is worth checking out, possibly owning, putting in the collection. I think Force Majeure is probably a no-brainer. If I see a reasonably priced copy, I will pick it up on CD. Let's go with some death metal. Now, this is a band that I'm well aware. Yeah, before you actually kick me in the ass, I'm well aware of this band's first two albums. For one reason or the other, I just have not picked them up. But I have really taken to this type of, the vocals are, I think they're awesome and very unique. The band is Asphyx. Now, I started off with, I started off with their newest album, and then I backtracked kind of when they reformed with Martin Van Drunen on vocals. So the past four albums, I think 09. So what I own, and also with guitar player Paul Baynes, who came over with Martin to reform the band from Hail of Bullets, which Hail of Bullets is, those three albums are just fantastic. Actually, they have an EP coming out too. I need to get that, but Death the Brutal Way. So now that you know the band, you know that you're going to tell me in the comments, yes, you need to have The Rack and Last One on Earth in your collection. But besides these four that I have, I don't know any of the middle stuff. So here's that Death Hammer. Incoming Death. This is one of my favorites. This is absolutely awesome. So yeah, Death Hammer, Incoming, a lot of death. But anyways, and the latest album so far to date, Necrosaurus from, 2021. But I don't know any of the middle stuff with Out Martin on vocals. I don't know, what would have been? Self-Titled, God Cries, On the Wings of something. And you know what? And between Last One on Earth to Death the Brutal Way, 17 years that Martin wasn't even in the band. They probably actually were on hiatus for a period at least. But let me know, is the Self-Titled or God Cries, should I check those out? I know nothing about them. So that's that's the latest one. Now, next is a band that I only own one album from. This is an absolute thrasher piece that I did not know in 1990. I'm glad to know it now. If I would have known it in 1990, I'd say it would rival, stuff like Rust in Peace and other key albums that came out in 90. And, I put it in the thrasher piece category, and that is Artillery by Inheritance. No, very cool artwork too. If you know who Kent Mateau is, he did more than two Forbidden albums, but the Forbidden Evil and Twisted into Form, he did those covers. I think he did Omega Wave too, and I'm not sure if he did anything else. But anyways, absolute thrasher piece. This is Artillery's third album. They have 10 albums, and as far as I know, which their latest album was called just X, so representing 10. Which would have came out, I would say probably 2020 or 2021. I've never heard that album. Maybe I've heard a track or two off of it. In the past, when I've done videos, people have said to me, you got to check out their first couple albums, which would have been Fear of Tomorrow and Terror Squad. I think I've briefly checked them out. I should go back to those, but after that, after By Inheritance till X, I haven't heard anything, and I still don't know if they're still active or not. But if you've never heard this album, this is, like I said, Thrasherpiece, but it's the only one I own. So out of their 10 album discography, I only own the one. I'm gonna grab a quick drink. Now next up, we'll go with the one where I said this number really skewed the whole 96, and that is Loudness. I think last I looked, they have something like 34 studio albums, which is insane. And is that a discography that I would ever want to complete? No, not a chance. But I know I'm missing stuff that is probably really good or worth checking out and earlier than what I'm going to show you. This one, generally, if you're around my age, you know this album. I had it on cassette, I've had it on CD, I have it on vinyl. Now, Thunder in the East, which this one came out in 1985. Remember the video for Crazy Nights? You know, it's clear as day watching that on Much Music. Used to record all those on VHS and watch them over, or if I was working or something, I would program the VCR and come home and look forward to watching stuff like this. But yeah, to me, this is a Loudness classic, and right in that pocket of period, I call it the Atco years. There was 4 studio albums and one kind of remake. It was called On the Prowl. I don't own that one. But anyways, this is what I have from Loudness, and this is what I know from Loudness. And a band that in 2024, I kind of rekindled, my relationship, whatever you want to say, with Loudness. And I thought, you know what? I bet you there's stuff out there. And actually, one comment in the metal tag, somebody says, you need to check out Disillusion, I think it's called. I don't know if that's the one that came out before Thunder in the East, but and I don't mind if it's Japanese lyrics or Japanese vocals, language, no problem. I actually really like songs that are sung in different languages too, whether it be, German, Italian, whatever. It fits in with the music, and definitely I know a lot of the Loudness stuff does. So continuing what I do have, Lightning Strikes from 86. So another album produced, that's 2 in a row, produced by Max Norman. And then I know on Hurricane Eyes, which Thunder in the East is fantastic, but Lightning Strikes and Hurricane Eyes are not as good, definitely in my opinion. And to be honest, the artwork is shit. Even this one too. I love their logo, but overall they could have done a better job with their artwork. They kind of blend together type of thing. But this one they went with Eddie Kramer. Eddie Kramer from, especially quite a few Kiss albums production wise. And they, this was not a successful album. And then after that, they went with an American vocalist, Mike Viscera, on this one. This is the last one I have. So that would have been 85, 86, 87. I think this came out in 89, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and that's where they brought in Mike Viscera. You would know him from the band Obsession and a few other bands that he's sang for. And they went back with, I'm pretty sure they went back, Max Norman production on this one. This is a really good album too. But, Mike didn't last that long. And then I think the regular, or their original vocalist came back. But I don't know anything past here for sure. And I don't know much about what came before Thunder in the East. But there's really good albums, like what I'm told are really good albums. Like I said, Disillusion, that was mentioned to me. You got to check that. The Law of the Devil's Land, and I think Birthday's Eve was the first album. You know what? I really haven't spent much time with those, so let me know, should I? Or do I have enough with this, what I call the Atco years? And to wrap up this episode today, this is one that, a band that I was aware of, but also fell into one of the questions from the metal tag of a band that I got into in 2024, and that is Brainstorm from Germany. They are now releasing I think they're releasing their 14th studio album right away. It's called Plague of Rats. But I had these two albums sitting on my shelf, and I'll show you them in these were sent to me, and I kind of had them on my little auxiliary shelf. You know those situations where you don't want to get rid of something, but you never quite get to it? Well, I finally got to these albums, and that was Brainstorm, Scary Creatures, which this is one of my favorites for sure. And Midnight Ghost. This was also sent to me as a gift. Not as good as Scary Creatures, but a really good album too. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to dig into these guys. They're from Germany. I love metal from Germany, and I love just metal. It's just, it doesn't have to have, you know, a certain, is it death metal? Is it this? Is it thrash? I don't care. It's just metal to me. Especially these guys fall. Let's even throw a little bit of power in here, because they do have some albums that are a little bit more on the power metal side. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to pick up a couple more. So I went back and I showed this one in an update. This is their newest to date, Wall of Skulls. Really good album. Yeah, quite melodic too. They're very catchy, great riffs. And then I went back and picked up two more. I picked up Fire Soul. And this one, I was actually, I think I watched a ranking. I don't know. Somebody said, this one's not that good. But I was picking up some stuff from Metal Blade Records, and they had it on for like $7.99. I'll pick it up, whatever, for that price. Downburst, this one came out in 2006 or 8. That's hard to read, but so that's what I own from out of currently Brainstorm's 13 album discography. I own 5. I don't know if I really need to dig way back, or do I? Actually, there is one album that I have ordered. It is called Liquid Monster, and it is fantastic. It is right up there with Scary Creatures for me. And I did pre-order their new album, so I'm looking forward to that too. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I don't know if I said it, but I like to do these episodes to participate with you guys and throw it down in the comments. And so out of these 6 bands, maybe you can help me out, point me in the right direction. Especially like a band for like Sepultura, who probably has, if I'm guessing, they probably have, I don't know, 15, 16 studio albums. And I know nothing of the Derek Green era. I don't even know who's left in the band, things like that. And yeah. And let me know some of these bands that you have in your collection that kind of fall into this category where you're on the fence, and hey, maybe I can help you out and point you in the right direction. But like I said, hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, stay heavy.